You know what annoys me though? That I'm probably not gonna be able to put actual Severance like soundtrack in the background because YouTube won't allow it. That's a bummer, such a bummer. But anyway, let's get into the video. Hey beautiful person, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Severance inspired tarot tag. Yes, that's what I'm doing today. I'm super happy about it, super excited. Because if you didn't know, I'm completely obsessed with this show. It's just amazing, I'm loving it, and I was thinking I would really like to talk about it. I would really like to be immersed in its universe for a little longer. And I thought, what better way to do that than fusion it with tarot somehow and bring it to the channel. So that's what we are doing today. I came up with a few prompts and I'm going to explain what this tag is about in a minute. But before we do, if you are not familiar with the show, I'm just briefly going to tell you the plot, or like the essence of the plot. So it's basically about this medical procedure called severance that allows people to split their personality into two completely separate beings, basically, and neither of these have any memories of the life of the other, if you know what I mean. It's kind of crazy, kind of mind-blowing, kind of fascinating. Now, I'm not really going to be going into too much detail about the show in here. If you have watched the show, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I strongly recommend watching that. It's currently streaming on Apple TV, and that show is just one of the kind. Okay, let me just tell you, it's one of the kind. I don't even have any better description for it, or any better, you know, thing to say. It's just one of a kind. I don't want to swear here on YouTube. Anyway, with that being said, however, if you haven't watched the show and you are just here for some tarot fun, you are completely welcome to stay, because I'm still going to explain briefly all the prompts, and you're still gonna get some tarot fun, hopefully. It's not like it's only going to be about the show. And also, another thing before we begin, if you watched Severance but you are not caught up with the season 2 just yet, it's also completely okay. I'm not going to be giving any major spoilers here. Actually, I'm not going to be giving any spoilers. Now that I think about it, I hate spoilers, so like, don't worry, I'm not going to ruin the show for you. I would never do that, hon, okay? And also, all the prompts that I came up with are based solely on season 1. So with that being said, I'm just thinking whether I haven't forgotten anything. I probably have, because that's just me and my lack of notes, but I mean, I put some notes about the prompts, but the prompts only. Anyway, with that being said, make yourself comfortable, grab yourself something delicious to drink, and let's get into that. Alright, of course I forgot to say something super important, and that's what deck are you supposed to use for this tag if you choose to do this tag? Well, the answer is whatever deck you like. I'm very surprisingly gonna be using the Thoth-tarot. Yeah, because I love it, you know. And if you want to know what version of Thoth I'm using, this is just a very regular, boring sort of a version of large Thoth, and I believe this is the 2023 version. I never know it's the 2023 or 2024, but I think 23. Anyway, just a regular Thoth, okay? But if you choose to do this tag, you can use whatever deck you like, whatever deck you feel most comfortable with to do the tag, okay? It's not like it's a Thoth tag. This is what I was trying to say with this. Okay, with that being said, let's go with the prompt number 1, which is obviously Innie and Outie. So, if you haven't watched the show, Innie and Outie are terms that are used to describe the two personalities. So Innie is the personality that is inside the workplace, and the Outie is your personality that is outside of your work, so in your daily life, right? And you probably know where I'm going with this, so I decided to pick one card that is going to represent my Innie, meaning my online presence. So which card best represents or describe my online presence? And then we are gonna pick a card for what best represents my Outie, so my persona in my mundane sort of world, you know what I mean? So let's look at that. Now, I must admit, this was a little bit tricky one, because I really tried to be the most authentic here, and I'm really trying to be myself, but you know how it is. For example, okay, let me just grab the card, and I'm gonna explain as, you know, with the cards. You're gonna understand me a little bit better. So my Innie. For the Innie, I chose the Princess of Cups. So Let me explain. What I'm trying to do here on YouTube and also on Instagram, and just generally just me coming here in front of the camera, is that I'm really trying to somehow connect with people on emotional level, and I'm mostly usually speaking about emotions. So you already probably know that I'm a water sign, so I'm all about emotions, right? And I'm always trying to tell people that just please be kind to each other and just please, you know, be empathetic. And this is basically what I'm trying to do here. Also, when I'm reading tarot for people, I'm always trying to find a solution with tarot to make people somehow feel better about whatever situation they are consulting me with, or what I'm trying to give them collectively. It's always me trying to somehow soothe people emotionally, somehow trying to give them a little bit of hope, a little bit of optimism, a little bit of, you know, some sort of solution that is going to make them feel a little bit better. And this is not to say that I'm just like all love and light, because I'm totally not. It's also not to say that I'm only telling people like everything's gonna be fine, because, you know, life is more complicated than that. However, I do try to always somehow make people feel a little bit better and give them a little bit of kindness to their lives. I'm trying to bring that to people's lives, you know. And why did I say that it is a little bit tricky? Because I'm like that in real life as well. Like, I'm really trying to give people kindness, and I often laugh because I live in Central Europe, and people in Central Europe are incredibly cold, and they never smile, and they never say anything nice to you anywhere. And I'm that weirdo who smiles at people sometimes, and they look at me like, is she mad? Like, is she completely out of her mind? Well, yeah, I guess I am. Because that's my Princess of Cups. And also, I often talk a lot about emotions and about experiencing emotions and being real with your emotions, and I just somehow feel like Princess of Cups is that person, you know, who is like open to experiencing all sorts of emotions, but without coming off as I know everything about emotions and emotional stability. Because I never tell people like, you know, I'm this completely evolved human being and I know everything about everything. I do not, honey. I'm also an emotional mess many times, and I'm just trying to empathize with people and somehow get closer to them through that. But that being also authentic, which means that I also admit that I'm a mess many times. So I thought Princess of Cups would be what best embodies that energy. And also I decided to pick 2 cards. Yeah, another thing, you can pick whichever number of cards you like for each prompt. So I also picked another one, and that's the 7 of Swords, which in the Thoth is called futility. And now, before you say what the hell, let me tell you, the 7 of Swords is the moon in Aquarius. Now, I have moon in Aquarius, and what it is like for me, like how I experience the moon in Aquarius, is that I always have this urge to somehow be different from like large groups of people, and that's really detrimental for me, to be honest, because I've come to realize that it's actually probably a little bit hard to vibe with me. Like, I don't know, I don't see large groups of people really vibing with me, if you know what I mean, because I also try to, like, I have so many facets of myself, and I often try to tie them all together and present myself as me, and that's somehow confusing for many people, right? So people want to see like one thing, a person just talking about one thing, a person just presenting in one thing, and that's sadly not me. I'm sorry. So this is why I thought that 7 of Swords would be the one as well. So you see, that's this emotional, really highly emotional part of myself, but also being like, yeah, no, do not put me in a box, you know, just do not put me in a box. So yeah, I think that best describes my online presence. So me really striving for that connection with people, but at the same time being like, hey, you know, I'm just weird, and I know that it's not easy to just click with me, but people who do click with me, like, I value them a lot. So there is that. And now, as I mentioned, this is also me in real life. However, for my Outie, so now proceeding to the Outie, I picked the Hermit. Why? Because here comes the thing. The thing that most people do not believe me, especially people who just come across my channel or my Instagram, because I talk here, right? I talk to you, I make videos, I make stories, and I talk a lot. And people assume that I'm this really extroverted social person. Well, I'm not. I'm not. I'm this. I'm literally this guy. In my daily life, in my mundane life, I'm the Hermit. Why? Because I'm a hopeless introvert, and I would even go as far as describe myself as a little bit of an antisocial person. Like, I avoid people. Okay, in my day-to-day life, when I can avoid a conversation with someone in person, I will avoid it. When I can avoid meeting some person, I will avoid it, you know. So as you see, people who are close to me, like, yeah, I'm this person, I'm really emotional, I'm really empathetic, blah blah. Yeah, by the way, I just realized I only spoke about like the good side of the Princess of Cups. There is a shadow, there is a shadow to that, okay? I can be really, you know, water signs have their shadows, but that's a topic for another video. And I'm also, in my real life, in my Outie world, a little bit of this, well, not a little bit, my moon in Aquarius being like, for example, I have pink hair, okay, and I also dress in this alternative way, so I'm really trying to be a little bit different from people around me. Like, there is this urge in myself that I can't explain why it is there, except for my moon being in Aquarius. However, my Outie will be trying to be alone the most of the time, okay, or with a very small selected group of people that I feel comfortable with. And another reason why I picked the Hermit is because Hermit is connected with Virgo in zodiac, and I have this Virgo vibe. I have Virgo rising actually, and that presents as me being extremely, and I said that on the channel before, this presents as me being extremely perfectionist and really heavy on organization and controlling, like micromanaging things. And oh my, see, this is more like shadowy part of my Outie because I wish I could just let go sometimes, but we're gonna get into that in prompts that are to come. But yeah, so really introverted, really antisocial, really micromanaging, and perfectionist. Yeah, that would be my Outie. And I also picked two cards for my Outie, and the second card I picked for it is 8 of Swords. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word swords, which is called interference in thought. Now, why did I pick this card? Because I'm generally a very anxious person, and you might argue and say, well, but anxiety card would be more typically 9 of Swords, right? If we are talking Rider-Waite-Smith. However, since I'm working with the thought here, I'm gonna tell you that to me, anxiety card in thought is more 8 of Swords and 9. And why? Because this is Gemini, yeah, Gemini in, I'm sorry, Jupiter in Gemini. So it's this never-ending flow of thoughts that just doesn't stop, right? I mean, I said it's never ending, and that creates that kind of interference, like you are almost paralyzed by the number of thoughts that are coming to your head constantly. In my case, it's mostly things I worry about, like, because when you worry about something, it's like it's constant, it's just non-stop, it just comes and comes and comes, and it literally paralyzes you, as I mentioned. And that's what interference is for me. And this is what it's like to live in my brain. In general, like me as a person, like my Outie is very stressed, very anxious, very not mentally stable, right? Sorry, I'm just gonna be honest, yeah. So, yeah, very anxious person who isolates themselves because that's just better for them and it makes them feel more comfortable. But still, very rebellious, very against the system, very empathetic, very emotionally rich, for better or worse, right? So that would be that would be my Innie and my Outie. So you see, they share some similarities. There is overlap, definitely, because they are me. It's so funny to speak about myself in this too. People, I love it. So they're both me, but one is a little bit more, you know, for example, talkative. But what you do not realize is that I'm talking to my camera. It's not like there are people actually looking at me right now. So yeah, anyway, but that would be my Innie and my Outie. So, okay, this was fun. I think the lighting situation is going to go a little wild because the light is going out and I'm just filming with this pinky pink light. But anyway, you don't mind, do you? Proceeding with the prompt number 2, we've got the MDR, or the famous macro data refinement. Now, what is that? For the people who haven't watched the show, that's basically the name of the department where the main characters work. And they do not really know what they are doing there. It sounds so weird. If you haven't watched the show, this is all gonna sound super weird. I'm sorry. Watch the show, it's really good. So these characters do not really know what they're working on, but one of the main characters, Mark, he says very iconic phrase that is, the work is mysterious and important. Okay, so this prompt is basically about this mysterious and important mission of your life. Something that you think you were put on this earth to do. You don't know why exactly. You just feel called to it and you just somehow feel the urge to do it. Okay, so let's see what card I picked for that. So for MDR, I picked the Chariot. Why Chariot? Because I feel, well, first of all, the Chariot is linked to Cancer in Zodiac, and again, emotions. Also, this is my sun sign, yes. So what I feel I was put on this earth to do is to somehow bring some sort of emotional experience to people. Okay, what I think I was put on this earth to do, and I don't really know why, but I think that my mission is to somehow bring some sort of emotional experiences to people. Yeah, this is how I view the Chariot in this in this context. So I feel like I'm here to somehow experience emotions and also bring some sort of emotional experience to people, as I mentioned, because the Chariot is this person who transports something, right? Who brings something. He brings something to the world. He's this action card that goes outwards, and him holding this holy grail, whatever thing, in the Thoth deck, it kind of represents like the emotions, I think. At least this is how I read it. Yeah, so therefore, see, I don't even know how exactly to explain it. That's the kind of funny, because I have not really written anything about it. I just picked the card, and it's kind of funny because it's kind of like the MDR, like what am I doing here in this life and why, I don't know. I just feel like this Chariot just holding and transporting this holy grail of a mess of emotions, and I'm just offering that to people who come to contact with me, and I just hope I can somehow leave some emotional mark on them, hopefully good one, but you know, sometimes you never know. And also I would really love to teach myself and people in my life and people who I come across with, people who I come to contact with, how to somehow protect their emotions, because like we are living in a crazy, wild, aggressive, emotionally aggressive world, and it's very scary. And yeah, maybe I'm here to learn how to protect my emotions, because that's been the mission for me, definitely. It's something I'm learning the hard way, and maybe if I learn that, I can help other people to do the same. Maybe, that's, yeah, maybe. And the second card, because I also picked two for this prompt, is the Seven of Wands, which is the Leo, Mars in Leo, I believe, Mars in Leo. Sorry. So why the Seven of Wands? Because the Seven of Wands somehow reminds me of Seven of Swords as well. It's not that like internally rebellious energy. This is like outwardly rebellious energy, in my opinion. This is how I feel it, how I sense it, how I think about this card. And I think that my mission in life is also somehow be rebellious on the outside as well, and maybe inspire more people to just be rebellious as well. You know, I love people taking space. I love people presenting themselves as themselves and really stepping into their power and into their true personalities, and just being different and being themselves and not worrying about what other people think. So I think, yeah, I think that's it. Like, once you protect your emotions, and once you get somehow hold of them, even though the Chariot is not really in hold of anything, he's just riding the chariot. Well, the charioteer is the person and the chariot is the chariot, right? Sorry, English is not my first language. But yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Maybe like once we learn to protect our emotions and our emotional body in general, we can then step into that energy and just be badass, you know? Yeah, like for some reason I'm really called to that. I want to be that, and I want to inspire people to be that too. Yeah, I hope someone gets inspired by me being silly little me, and I hope you can be silly little you as well. Yay! Okay, I changed the battery, and I think we are gonna have to fix lighting also, because I'm becoming a little too pink, so hold on. Okay, I did not become less pink because I don't know how to do that. My camera skills are not very good. But anyway, let's just proceed, whatever. Let's be pink. So the prompt number 3 is called Break Room. Now again, for people who have not watched the show, the break room is this place where the innies go when they disobey in a way, and that's all I'm gonna say. No spoilers, I promised, no spoilers. So this prompt basically talks about lessons that you somehow fail to learn, and lessons that bring some sort of punishment from the universe for you, like over and over, and it's like, oh, again, why again? So for this prompt I picked obviously a Cups card. I picked 8 of Cups, which is called In the Lens in thothtarot. Now, why did I pick this card? As I said, obviously it had to be a Cup card for me, because as a water sign, my entire life revolves around emotions. In any area of my life, it's always emotions interfering really heavily and interacting with everything really heavily. My emotions are, my decisions are always emotions based, blah, blah, blah. You get the picture. So why 8 of Cups? Because I had this tendency, now it's a little bit less, but I used to have this tendency of staying in connections and relationships that would be literally rotten. I don't even have any other word for it. Literally rotten. And I would just stay there because I would think, well, I can maybe somehow fix it. Like maybe, you know, I can somehow move these emotions, get them flowing again, right? Like I can somehow alter it. But the 8 of Cups is this stagnant energy. It's not moving at all. It's literally just stagnant. And in this way, like imagine something, you leave something in the water for a long time, and then okay, my cat, oh my gosh. Sorry, my cat was just placing his little head into the light. So imagine that you put something in the water and you leave it there for like a long time. It's going to rot. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. And what you need to do when you acknowledge that you are in that kind of situation is simply leave. Like there is nothing else you can do, you can just leave, right? So in Rider-Waite-Smith, this card is about the person leaving behind some, you know, difficult emotions and stuff. In Thoth, you are not leaving, you are in there. You are in it, you are rotting. So this is like my lesson. It's always, and I'm always punished for it by the universe, because I just suffer. I just emotionally suffer every time I choose to, you know, stay in a connection like that, and I'm specifically thinking about one person right now that I have that I had a very turbulent experience with, and they caused me this. Like, I wasn't able to just move on. I was like, no, but what if I can change how the things are? But I could not. I get out of it now, but it was difficult, and this lesson just keeps repeating. I hope it will not repeat anytime soon, but then again, I don't know, right? It's my break room. And another one, because I think I just like number 2, I don't know, very balanced. The second card I picked for this one is the 6 of Swords. So science in thought is focusing. Okay, there we go. So why 6 of Swords? Why science? Because as you could probably already imagine from what I just told you, I'm a very emotionally driven person. And that means that logical thinking is not very often to be found in my persona, right? So not something I'm really proud of, and actually quite the opposite. I would love to bring a little bit more of logical thinking and a little bit more of clarity and some ability to calculate some things and some outcomes, maybe a little bit better rather than just riding the wave. Yeah, so it's also a lesson that keeps repeating. Like, I'm constantly reminded by the universe that, hey, maybe if you just thought about it a little bit better, you know, like if you literally, the universe literally let me know in so many occasions that, hey, you know what's gonna happen because you know that these things are most likely to happen based on just thinking. But I just choose to ignore that part. I just choose to go with, I don't know where the Princess of Cups is. I just choose to go with, well, let's just experience it anyway. Let's just feel it, right? Yeah, and then I'm very harshly reminded then that, hey, yeah, no, maybe, you know, the logical thinking is the thing you should be practicing a little bit more. So I have to practice it then, like, by force. Yeah. Break room. Proceeding with the prompt number 4. The prompt number 4 is called the music dance experience, and I love this one so much. So again, for people who haven't watched the show, music dance experience is some sort of a reward that Innies can get when something goes right? So let's go for the opposite of what we were just talking about. So not a punishment, but a reward. So what cards represent something that really makes you happy, that really makes you enjoy, something that's really, really joyful for you, right? Here I actually picked 3 cards, and let's begin with the obvious one. So the Devil. I don't know if you expected, okay, I don't know if you expected this one, but the Devil to me, as I often say, I even have the entire video only about this card, not in thought, but in general. But the Devil to me is this figure that literally goes against the system and owns his decisions, and is just so unapologetic and so himself, so full of himself. And when I get to do that, when I get to choose something that I really want and I just go against society, whatever. See, everything ties back to my moon in Aquarius. I know. But yeah, whenever I get that chance, I'm just like in my jazz. And it's funny I said that because, you know, the defined jazz. Anyway, that was just like the inside joke for people who watched Severance. Anyway, so being in the Devil's energy is literally the music dance experience for me. Like, I love every second of it. I just love every second of being in control of something, especially my desires, because also the Devil represents desires, something that you truly want, but you know, people are really afraid of that sometimes because the Devil is this really, really free energy. Despite of people really associating him with the opposite, people tend to associate the Devil with being somehow tied, because the Devil, well, here in the Thoth deck, he's not tying anyone up, but in different decks there are like figures chained to the Devil, and therefore people associate him with chaining you up almost and not allowing you to progress. For me, that's you doing that yourself, and you need to know how to unchain yourself but own the consequences of your decisions, right? So that's what the Devil is all about, in my opinion. And when I get to experience that energy in my life, in my persona, I just love it. I don't even have anything else to say. I just love being in the devil energy, okay? The second card in this prompt that I chose is the Star. The Star is literally the Aquarius card, and but that's not what I chose. Just saying. A lot of Aquarius energy in this tag. But why did I choose the Star? Because I always used to be, and still am, I like to believe I still am, this person who really likes to follow their dreams, and I like to tell other people to follow their dreams also. See, I was also kind of talking about it in some of the previous prompts. But when I am in the Star energy, so when I really feel like I'm really going after the dream that I have, like I'm really being visionary about it, and I really know what I'm wanting, and I'm really sometimes a little bit delusional about it even, because okay, you have to dream big, okay? So when I'm in that energy, when I'm aligned with what I'm truly, you know, like desiring, again, kind of ties to the devil, but when I'm really in that, okay, I'm really fighting for my dreams, I'm really going towards my vision, I'm really following my dreams, you know, when I'm in that energy, so good. It feels so good. It feels like, yeah, I'm doing life well, right? So the Star. And the third card, this is the first prompt that I picked 3 cards for. So the third card, I had to. I don't like this card normally because it's too cliche for me. But for this prompt, the Two of Cups. Love. Why the Two of Cups? Because again, water sign, everything revolving around emotions. When I get to experience the Two of Cups energy, when I get to experience that pure connection with someone, like when you really click with someone and everything's flowing and it feels like you have known this person forever, which doesn't happen often, by the way, okay? I'm saying that like I just encounter people. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to encounter that person or people. When I do, it's just like, that's like the best music dance experience, right? It's just, it's like being high. It's literally like being high, and I love it. I won't lie to you. I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy being in love. I enjoy that that flow of emotions, that connection, and yeah. So Two of Cups, yay! Okay, following we have the prompt number 5, which is the wellness session. Now again, for people who are not familiar with Severance, wellness session is this, well, what the name suggests. It's this session that Innies get, and it's like a little session with this therapist who basically recites facts about their outies to them, and it's supposed to somehow make them feel good, whatever. Again, sounds weird, I'm aware, okay? Severance is a weird show, a very good one. Again, go watch it. Ooh, I think I came up with something to fix lighting situation a little bit. How about that? Okay. It's so funny, I changed the lighting in this video like 3 times, or 4 is it? I don't know. I will not refilm this. I'm having a good time. So once again with the new lighting situation, let's go for the wellness session. So again, for this prompt I chose 3 cards. So I'm just gonna iconically say the phrases "your Audi," blah blah blah, and then I'm gonna speak about the card. Okay. So first card I picked is this one. Is the Two of Swords, which is called peace in thought. So the phrase I had in mind for this particular card was something like, your Audi is a very calm person who doesn't rush into decisions. How about that? Now that would make me so damn happy, because that's so not me, because again, as I was saying in the prompt number, what was it, 1? When I was talking about Innie Outie, I'm a very anxious person, okay, like very anxious person. So if I was just my Innie and I knew that my Outie is someone who is really calm, really thinks things through, and doesn't just make erratic decisions. Like, that would make me really happy. That would give me some peace. Actually, that would give me some peace, okay? However, that can obviously lead into the person being indecisive, because that's like the shadow of the Two of Swords, right? Indecisiveness. Like, you cannot choose for the life of yours, because this is the moon in Libra. Oh, the Libra. Yeah, the Libra, very undecisive sign. And the moon in Libra, it can go there, right, when we go to the shadow aspect of the card. So yeah, that might be a little bit like, isn't my Audi a little bit boring? But I would probably try to just focus on the part of like my Audi is really calm and really, you know, like they know their shit. And basically, I just realized that right now, it would mean that my Audi is not so emotionally driven, and that would be interesting. Like, I don't know how that would feel like. I have no idea, but it must be interesting. Okay, then the card number 2 that I picked is the Knight of Discs. So the phrase I had in mind for this one was, your Audi really knows what they are doing in their life. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't even say that without laughing. Yeah. Your Audi really knows the direction in which they are going, and they are really firm and confident about it. Yeah, that would be okay. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. Okay, because I'm sorry, I again have to tie it back to me being extremely emotional, because if you are a person who bases most of their decisions, if not all of them, on emotions and emotions only, you don't really know where your life is going exactly, you see, because I feel different every so often, and every so often I make these crazy choices that completely put my life upside down, and I have never been this person, right? I have never been this, just look at, he's not even holding the reins of his horse. He's just so confident in where he's going, if he's even going anywhere, like I don't even know. If my Audi was that person, I would probably feel much more at peace. I would probably feel really proud of my Audi, but that's just not me. But that would be some wellness fact for sure. And the third card I picked is pretty much almost like not the same, but I picked the Ace of Discs, and I basically picked this one. Okay, the phrase. Here goes the phrase. Your Audi is an extremely grounded person who does not let anything throw them off. Wow, again. How cool if there are people like that. I mean, people with a lot of earth in their charts are usually like that, at least people that I came in contact with who had a lot of earth in their chart. I just love, okay, full disclosure, I have love-hate relationship with earth people because I admire them for being so stable and so grounded and so with their feet on the ground, but I also can't really vibe with them because I'm kind of crazy, you know. So I'm usually really incompatible with these people because they're very practical, very grounded, and I'm like, hey, but let's just flow, and they're like, no, that's literally not good for you right now, and I'm like, never mind, let's just live a little, you know. So, but if my Audi was embodying the Ace of Discs, come on, I would be so happy, I would be so proud of myself. Yeah. The prompt number 5 is called the Perpetuity Wing. So, again, for people who are not familiar with Severance, with the show, the Perpetuity Wing is this place, like this section in the company where there are these statues of the founders of the company, and it's like pretty weird okay? And the innies sometimes go there to like be reminded of the importance of their work. Weird stuff, okay? Severance is weird. We've established that, right? So what are we gonna talk about in this prompt? In this prompt, there are gonna be cards that you admire in some way, almost like worship, like the cards whose energy is just something really admirable for you, something that you just feel a huge adoration for, but you do not really feel like you are embodying them very well at all almost, but you really do like put these on the pedestal almost, okay? And in this prompt I actually put 5 cards. See, this is probably the most, yeah, probably the most cards that I ever put in a prompt in this particular tag. So let's begin with the card number 1, which is the Lust card. So why would I put her here? I mean, first of all, look at her. Just keep looking at her for a little longer. She is just perfect, okay? She is completely free. She's completely embodying herself and her sensuality. She's comfortable in her body. She is comfortable in her presence. She's comfortable in how she's, well, presenting herself to the world. And she's riding this beast. Yeah, thank you, Crowley, for making us say this when speaking about the Lust card. With such confidence. Like, how can you not put her on the pedestal? You know, like we have the Strength card, because yeah, she would be, by the way, for the people who are not thought readers, she would be equivalent to Strength card. And you know, with the Strength cards, we usually have like this woman, this female person opening the mouth of the beast. Well, here she's riding the beast and she's completely naked and she's holding the cup of abominations, and she's just completely surrendered to her nature, to her sensual animal nature almost. So I'm just putting her in the Perpetuity Wing, okay? Now let me get a sip of water because my voice is leaving me. Hold on. By the way, I think the lighting changed yet again, but you know what? We are just not even gonna talk about it anymore. So the second card in this prompt is the 6 of Discs, which is called Success in the Thoth Tarot. I'm just letting you appreciate this one for a little longer as well, because this card is just, it's this perfect harmony in the material realm, which again is something that I'm striving for, sure, but it's not really the energy that I'm very familiar with, you know what I mean? Like, the 6 is the most harmonious number, okay, in tarot anyway. And we are in the suit of discs, right? So the material. And if we do not put this on a pedestal, like, I don't know what we would. There was also option for me to pick 9 of discs, but for some reason the 6, I don't know, there's just something in the 6 of discs for me that just deserves to be put on a pedestal, be admired, and be like, how the hell do I achieve you, right? But you can just go and admire the energy, you know, you can admire the energy and be like, yeah, I will maybe someday know how being completely in the 6 of discs energy feel like. But I'm speaking about this part of 6 of discs, right? Because there are obviously other aspects, other sides to the 6 of discs, which is, by the way, 6 of Pentacles or 6 of Coins in other decks, like generosity, giving, receiving, the type of balance. I'm not really speaking about that. I'm mostly speaking about this material harmony. Like, what is that even, right? So, 6 of discs. Then the third card, how could I possibly not? The High Priestess. I mean, she just knows shit, right? She just knows. She is so in tune with her intuition in this case. We've been looking at the Lust, who was so in tune with her sensuality and sexuality. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, I hope so. And now we have this energy, this person, this archetype that is so in tune with her intuition, with her inner knowing. And again, that's really not me. I doubt my intuition. I'm learning to trust it more, but still, the High Priestess, the archetype on the pedestal, she is another statue in the Perpetuity Wing for me, and I just go and look at her sometimes and be like, yeah, again, one day, someday, hopefully, you are just fantastic. Like, she goes from the abyss, right? She crosses the abyss in Thoth. Not gonna explain that part, again, weird Thoth stuff. But, I mean, she totally deserves to be in the Perpetuity Wing for what I just said, okay? Then the card number 4, now similar big energy. Actually, there are going to be like the majority of majors, spoiler alert. The 4th card, the Death. So this is the Scorpio energy. Now, I have my love and hate relationship with Scorpio energy in general. Again, not gonna get into that. If you want to know like the salsa of that, if you want to know the tea, let me know down in the comments and I'm gonna consider telling you. But anyway, the Death card. So why the Death? Why I put Death in the Perpetuity Wing? Well, because the Death is, again, so unapologetic, it just transforms. It's not afraid. It's not afraid to die because it's death, you know what I mean? It's just transformative without doubts, like without holding itself back. It's that energy that knows that something needs to be transformed, that something needs to die, something needs to undergo that very deep transformation. I'm sorry, I'm lacking more words in English in this scenario, I'm sorry again, but you're getting the picture, right? So it's that unapologeticness of the Death, is that boldness of it, so somehow, and it's, you know, just changing something that needs to be changed and closing the cycles that need to be closed, and the Death is just doing that so effortlessly. And it's also, to me, it's also about acceptance. So accepting that something needs to change, accepting that something needs to end, something needs to transform. So for these reasons, she deserves to be in the Perpetuity Wing. Yay! And the last card in the Perpetuity Wing, and you are gonna be probably surprised by this one. I don't think you expect this card here, but I have to put her here for the similar reasons than the Death, and that's the Tower. Yes, I'm literally putting the Tower in the Perpetuity Wing. Why? As I mentioned, for the similar reasons as the Death, because the Tower just destroys anything and everything that's in her way for the better. Like, she is complete, she's not afraid one bit, right? This energy, I'm sorry, I somehow started referring to these cards as she. Sorry, it just somehow came automatically. So she does not know fear. She's liberating. She is literally the liberator. She will not hold you prisoner in things that do not work anymore. She will just destroy them, she will put them to the ground, and she will set you free. Even though it's uncomfortable, yes, even though it feels like everything is just put upside down, nothing makes sense anymore, it's really abrupt, it's really sudden, but it's necessary, and she knows that it's necessary, and she does that. So that energy, right on the pedestal, right in the Perpetuity Wing, even though we don't like looking at her, because she can be, again, aggressive, she can do things in a very just like bold and sudden way, as I said. But do you not admire that energy in a way? Like, yeah, it's somehow dark energy, because as humans we don't like feeling uncomfortable, right? It's normal. We always seek comfort, we seek something that's easy and something that's, you know, we like to close ourselves in like certain comfort zones, and the Tower is the opposite of that. She will drag you out of your comfort zone when you need to be dragged out of it, and that's why we don't like her. That's why we don't like her in readings, we don't like seeing her, we do not like interacting with this energy, but she's just so powerful and potent and so cool. So yeah, she's in my Perpetuity Wing, okay? And the very last prompt is called Reintegration. So, for people who have not seen Severance, Reintegration is this procedure that seeks to join these two personalities that's been severed. So, it's basically like the opposite of Severance, right? Severance was about splitting you into two, Reintegration is making you whole again. Now, no spoilers, I'm not going to give you any more information about that part. Go ahead and watch the show. Yeah, it's just so funny to me that I said that like almost with every prompt. But yeah, anyway, so in this prompt, I'm gonna be talking about cards that represent part of me that are already somehow in me, but not so prevalently. Like, these are the parts of me that I would like to make a little more seen, a little bit more me. Like, I want them in me more, you know, because I feel a little bit separate from them. Like, I know that they are in me in a way, but not in a way I would like them to be, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go with the cards. You will know what I mean, hopefully, once I start pulling the cards. So for this prompt, I have 3 cards. So I'm going to begin with with my beloved Emperor. Why Emperor? Because Emperor is the masculine energy that I'm so lacking in myself. And I know I have it somewhere in me, because we all do. We all do, okay? We all do have both feminine, masculine, just to call them something, okay? Energies. We all have all the archetypes in ourselves, but we have some archetypes more present and some a little bit less present. Now, Emperor is someone who is not so present within me, if you know what I mean. Like, he's very elusive. His energy is very elusive to me. And by his energy, I mean this ability to be disciplined, to be structured, to be really stable, to really set some goals, go after them. Because also it's Aries. Aries set goals, initiates stuff and goes for it. I would love to have more Emperor energy in me, because I have like glimpses, like little glimpses of Emperor, because that's another thing. Is it a spoiler? I think not. But anyway, reintegration process can make you glimpse a little bit first into the, you know, life, memories, mind of the other self of yours. And that's like something I'm experiencing mostly with the Emperor. Like, I have glimpses of him, but he's gone very quickly always, and I would love him to be more present, like more permanently present, if you know what I mean. Then I've got the 8 of Wands here, the swiftness. Now, the reason why I chose the 8 of Wands here is because the 8 of Wands to me is also being spontaneous. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that word. I'm gonna put it on the screen. And I want to talk about something real quick here. So the reason why I picked the 8 of Wands here is because even though I said that I'm someone who bases their decisions on their emotions, which might sound like something spontaneous, it is not. It is not really, because the 8 of Wands energy to me is the energy of just almost like seizing the moment, like taking the opportunity to be in the moment and just like, yeah, let's go. Someone brings something up, like let's go do this thing, and you're like, yeah, let's go. You know, sometimes, again, just like with the Emperor, I have glimpses of that energy. Sometimes I am like that, and I don't know why I am like that on some moments and not on others, but it is something that I'm not very often, and I would love to be that person more. I would love to be the 8 of Wands person a little bit more, like someone who is like, let's go now, yeah, sure, let's go now. And not just when I'm feeling very manic, but like more often. It's like it allows you to live life a little bit more, maybe more funnily, something like that, I don't know. So yeah, I would love that part of my personality to be more present, more prevalent. And lastly, I decided to pick the Wheel of Fortune, and well, it is called Fortune in Thoth. By the way, I just today realized that it's called Fortune in the Thoth Tarot, not Wheel of Fortune, but anyway. I decided to pick this one, again, for the similar reasons as the 8 of Wands, because the Wheel of Fortune is this change, right? It's the card about change mostly, but also, to me, it's about being in the moment. Knowing that the moment will pass, you know, when something bad is happening, it will pass. But also when something good is happening, it will pass. It will come to an end. Everything will change. Everything's constantly changing. The life is change, right? It's something I always think about and say when I'm having this type of conversations, that life, something that's truly constant in life is the change. There's nothing else that's constant in life, only change, right? And embodying more the energy, the vibe of Wheel of Fortune for me would be really realizing that and being in the moment, because my mind tends to live somewhere else, which ties back to my anxiety. See, everything connects together. That's fantastic. So I have a very anxious mind, and I often forget to just be in the moment, to just not seize the moment, because it was more Eight of Wands, but more like really realize while I'm living my life that, hey, like, you can do this thing right now, and maybe you will not be able to do something like that in the future, or maybe right now you cannot do something, maybe in the future you will, but being more aware of that and a little bit more having it more present in my mind, and therefore being more in the moment and just enjoying things as they come and go, enjoying the changes, enjoying the seasons of life, metaphorically speaking, right? Because again, I have glimpses of that. Sometimes I'm that person, but more often I'm not. So it'll be fantastic to be a little bit more Wheel of Fortune aware of the energy of the Wheel of Fortune, if you will. All right, so with that being said, my sincere apologies about the lighting in this video. I started filming when it was, I don't know, 6 p.m. and now it's completely dark outside. I have one light that's dying all the time, and I'm really not like skillful with like camera and lighting. Excuse me. But with that being said, I'm really hoping you enjoyed this tag. If you are a Severance lover, please let me know down in the comment section, and please do this tag if you have a channel. Like, I would love to see more people exploring this. And even if you are not really a Severance fan and you just have a tarot channel, I still invite you to do this tag, because you can still pick some cards for these prompts and talk about the cards a little bit. It can still be fun, you know, like I would still watch it, that's what I'm saying, basically. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, and if you have not watched Severance, you already know what to do, my dude, my beautiful human being. Go and watch Severance, okay? It's fantastic, okay? It's just, I'm just basically doing them a free publicity here, but hey, I just love the show, okay? I just love the show, and I haven't loved anything this much in a long time. This is why I'm so hyper emotional about it right now, and I'm not even sorry about it, so I'm just enjoying myself, and I hope you enjoyed this as well. Any thoughts you might have, any questions, you know what to do. I'm reading you down in the comment section. I also invite you to like this video if you did like it, and subscribe to the channel. It could really make a difference to the channel since it's still a small one, so please consider subscribing. And yeah, if you want to hang out with me a little longer, I invite you to watch other videos available on my channel, or come hang out with me on Instagram. It's always a fun mess over there, so there is that. And yeah, I hope you're staying kind, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye bye. They will really not let me put Severance soundtrack here, will they?